starts right now.
I believe her. I really do. I have no reason to doubt her because I know him.
The ex-wife of a former SAPD officer discusses allegations against him after learning he's trying to get his job back for the third time. We break down the arbitration case of Javier Perales.
But first, an active service member who has ties to San Antonio was shot and killed outside of a bar in Manhattan, Kansas.
21-year-old Josh Wardy was an alum and former basketball player at Taft High School.
As the night team's John Paul Barajas reports, he is sorely missed by those who witnessed him become the man he was.
21-year-old Josh Wardy was shot and killed outside of a bar in Kansas over what authorities there say started because of an argument between he and 19-year-old Tremel Montgomery. Both men are active service members stationed at Fort Riley. All of this happening early Saturday morning. We sat down with Wardy's friends he's known since his days as a student at Taft High School, who are still trying to process the loss.
I called him because it just don't sit right. And he ain't answered the phone, and I was just like, it was hard.
For those who grew up with Wardy and knew him on and off the court, they say he was the most genuine person they had ever met, who always checked in on his loved ones and treated people with respect.
Everybody knew Wardy was touched by him. He made the world a better place every day. He affected everybody's lives, and I think that's what everybody should remember about him.
His teammates, friends, and former head coach Carl Lawson tell us Wardy was always giving back, often working community service during his time at Taft, then serving 2 tours in the military. They called him a role model, which is why they don't understand how an argument escalated to him losing his life.
He treated everyone like they were the most important person in the room. He wanted to win in basketball and he wanted to win in life. And it's just really unfortunate that it got cut short.
And through the outpouring of support Wardy received, it was apparent he influenced and inspired many during his time at Taft High School.
Watch over us. We miss you, bro.
I know he's still with me. I may not be able to see him, but I just know he's there.
I feel like everybody should strive to be like Wardy, to be that genuine human being.
His legacy and his memory is going to live on, and we're going to make sure of that.
And Coach Lawson explained one of the ways they plan to keep his legacy living on is they want to make an award for him and name it after him. On top of that, his friends plan to have a candlelight vigil here at 6:30 on the 20th. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Meanwhile, legendary broadcaster and San Antonio icon Gary DeLong has passed away at the age of 88. And tonight, we honor his historical and colorful career here on the Nightbeat and again later on Instant Replay. With more on the life of the San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer, here's our Greg Simmons.
Thank you, Tim. Gary has been battling COVID and COVID-related health issues for almost a month when he passed away this morning. Most of you knew him for his near 3-decade career with our competitor KENS 5, where he was not just a sportscaster, but also later went back to his roots in radio as a newsman covering the Fiesta sniper attack. His colorful sport jackets matched his larger-than-life personality that included a smile that greeted everyone as if you were his best friend. But here's something you may not know. During his radio career in Dallas, he was the first newsman to report that both President John F. Kennedy and Governor John Connally had been shot in November of 1963, and later was reporting live in the basement of the Dallas police station when Lee Harvey Oswald was shot by Jack Ruby.
Here he comes, Lee Oswald, the accused assassin. Police officers and sheriff. The shot rang out. The shot has rung out.
And then that's when chaos broke out. I choked up. It was hard to broadcast, you know. The difficult thing was really the scariness of being there in the basement and not knowing who it was, you know, and I didn't know it was Jack Ruby at the time.
In fact, a documentary called Jack Ruby's 11th Hour was awarded Best Radio Documentary by the Associated Press in 1967. But Gary's passion was sportscasting, more importantly, calling games from the Dallas Cowboys to the Oklahoma Sooners. It was actually the voice of the Astrodome from 1968 to 1971 before making his move to the Alamo City. But it was high school football that made him a legend here in broadcasting games for over 60 years. In fact, the home broadcast booth at Comalander Stadium is named after Gary, and he won a Silver Circle Emmy for the body of his works. We'll be saluting Gary's life and career later on Instant Replay.
Thank you, Greg. See you soon. A man is in the hospital tonight after being shot by a New Braunfels police officer this morning. Officers were responding to a report of a suspicious person causing multiple disturbances. That's when they located 30-year-old Jacob Brzezinski inside a home off Redbud Lane. Eventually, police say he came out with a sword and eventually lunged toward an officer. That officer then shot at him. Another officer used a taser. He now faces a charge of aggravated assault of a peace officer. The officer who shot him is on administrative leave pending the results of the investigation.
4 women in custody after a wild night out. It all started at a party that San Antonio police say they got kicked out of. They say the women were angry and began firing shots into the air. No one was hit, but that's when the women sped away and ran a stop sign on North Colorado. This caused an SUV to T-bone the car the women were in. Their vehicle then hit a street sign before crashing head-on with a tree. Neighbors nearby say accidents at this time of night and on this street happen pretty often.
Well, it's never good when it happens, but when it does happen, it's usually late at night, around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, once people are, feeling pretty good for the night and just taking it down here 50 miles per hour. And on this street, they always catch somebody coming across the street right here.
The 2 people in the SUV were checked out and were not injured. The driver of the women's vehicle was taken to University Hospital in stable condition.
San Antonio police searching for a suspect accused of shooting at a couple trying to fix a flat tire, sending a man to the hospital. The shooting happened near the gas station on South WW White Road near East South Cross. The couple pulled into the parking lot, and that's when police say the suspect pulled up, allegedly fired at the man, hitting him several times, and then took off. He was taken to BAMC. The woman was not hurt.
San Antonio fire officials say a pool heater is to blame for a fire at an assisted living facility over on the north side. That fire broke out around 12:30 this afternoon at the facility that's located at Loop 1604 in Sonterra Place. When crews arrived, they began evacuating residents. Parts of the area sustained smoke and water damage after that fire was put out. No injuries were reported. Fire officials say some residents would be moved to different rooms to keep them away from the damaged areas.
Another day of searching for 3-year-old Lena Keel came to an end today with no real answers. The search today focused on OP Schnabel Park. Volunteers telling the night team's Lee Waldman they cannot just sit by while she's out there somewhere.
Night has fallen yet again on another failed search for 3-year-old Lena Sardar Keel, the child missing for 6 weeks now.
We can't just sit and keep observing. We need to get out and do what we can for this poor little girl.
Search volunteer Mary Newhouse's words reflecting in other volunteers as well. The overarching message, we can't just sit by while Lena still isn't home.
I have 9 grandkids and it breaks my heart. I can't imagine what the family's going through.
For many, it's their first time searching. They're looking for anything that might be disturbed or just not look right. Another volunteer, Charles Sims, hopes his experience as a combat veteran helps.
We, did terrain navigation and stuff like that, so anything we could do to help, to come out to help show unity in the community.
Since she disappeared December 20th, the search for Lena has primarily focused near her family's apartment on Fredericksburg Road on the northwest side. January 5th, divers checked a creek roughly 2 miles from there. Still, no answers. On the 28th, SAPD followed a tip that brought them to the city of Fredericksburg. After a joint law enforcement effort with police there, nothing was found. Joel and his wife, Chris, joining others in the search today and in prayers every day to bring Lena home.
Mine's been on it every day, and I just hope they find that little girl safe and sound and return her to her family.
SAPD has been very clear. They're asking for tips in Lena's case. It's being investigated as a missing persons case, so you can reach out directly to the missing persons unit. Their number 210-207-7660. The Islamic Center of San Antonio and Crime Stoppers are offering rewards that total $150,000 combined. Back to you.
Thank you, Lee. The mayor of Kerrville is issuing a disaster declaration in response to the wintry weather that hit the area, along with other parts of Texas. This declaration will allow the city to use resources provided by the city and state as part of their emergency management plan. You might remember on Thursday, an 18-wheeler jackknifed on I-10, causing traffic to be stopped for hours. One person died as a result of the crash. The 18-wheeler crashed into a Ford F-350 and one person inside died. Another person was injured. The disaster declaration will last for 7 days unless the Kerrville mayor sees a reason to extend it.
Yeah, and this time just a few days ago, things were still brutally cold out there, and there was lingering ice across the area, including places like Kerrville. Thankfully, we've had a good chance to thaw out this weekend, and the week ahead looks pretty quiet. I want to look back on today's high temperatures across the area. Speaking of Kerrville, you guys up there in Kirk County saw a high of 60 today. It was 61 at the airport, 65 down in Pearsall. Nice and comfortable with low humidity and plenty of sunshine again today. So some areas, including Kerrville, will have another freeze overnight, but freezing temperatures won't be as widespread across south central Texas overnight. I'll show you who can expect a freeze coming up in just a few minutes. We'll also talk about your work and school week forecast. Overall, it's pretty quiet, but I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what you can expect for the first day of the rodeo coming up on Thursday. That'll be along here in just a little bit.
Today marks 70 years of service for Queen Elizabeth, what this historic milestone means, and the request the Queen has for the public. Plus, the standoff between Russia and the U.S. continues, why White House experts say it's a very distinct possibility Russia will take Ukraine at any moment.
And it's a case of a twice-fired former SAPD officer trying to get his job back yet again. But it's the recent allegations against him that caused his ex-wife to speak out on his character. We'll have her exclusive interview next.
A twice-fired police officer hoping to win back his job again.
Yeah, and his ex-wife worries he may very well succeed. The city of San Antonio says Officer Javier Perales sent explicit photos from a woman's phone and sent them back to her, along with pictures of male genitalia using a series of spoofed phone numbers.
He's also accused of contacting her through a fake Facebook account. Perales is in the midst of appealing the resulting indefinite suspension, which is essentially a firing. But it only comes after he beat a previous indefinite suspension for threatening his ex-wife and her father.
In an exclusive interview, she tells KSAT why she finds the latest administrative case against him to be all too believable. I'm sorry.
When Janet Cruz saw the coverage of Javier Perales Jr.'s latest arbitration in November, it was the first time she learned the outcome of his first arbitration.
I was really angry that he would probably get away with this, as he did with my arbitration with my father.
Cruz agreed to be named, but not shown on camera, out of concern for her privacy. Now the story may affect her job. She was the central figure in her ex-husband's first indefinite suspension. Perales believed Cruz's cancer patient father had ignored him when they were both at a hardware store. So he texted Cruz, threatening to knock out her father and, quote, "After I expletive him up, I'm going to expletive you up." Perales didn't follow through with the threats, but that meant an arbitrator decided firing him wasn't warranted, given that other officers were punished less severely for worse conduct.
I knew it was going to happen, but based on the cases that they presented during the arbitration, it did make sense.
Now the police department has accused her ex-husband of anonymously harassing a different woman with her own explicit photos. Perales' legal team denies that, but Perales has admitted to contacting her with a fake Facebook account. Cruz, though, believes the woman.
I believe her. I really do. I have no reason to doubt her because I know him. Just thinking back at my history with him sending me inappropriate photos and text messages, very, very similar, and that's what he does.
Cruz even provided KSAT with this screenshot of an email she says Perales had sent her through an account she says he uses, showing a nude photo he had taken of her that she believed he was threatening to send to people at her work. "Expletive with my job, and I will expletive with yours," the email reads. There was other threatening behavior too, Cruz said. She testified at Perales' first arbitration that he told her he was not afraid of having a shootout with his colleagues. She also provided KSAT copies of a text thread from April 2017, in which Perales said, "Just so you know, I'm going to kill you. And leave now, Janet. I'm coming back to put a bullet in your expletive head." Later on, in what she says was the same thread, Perales sent a photo of his gun and badge, and the message, "I warned you, expletive." With Perales' job on the line again, she worries about what he might do if this time his appeal fails.
Just nightmares of him trying to come after me.
Though public records indicate Perales hasn't been arrested before, Cruz says he uses threats to intimidate people. Though she thinks he will wind up getting his job back, she doesn't think he should.
He's a predator. He preys on the weak.
and she hopes he won't have any more chances to do that as a San Antonio police officer. Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
KSAT made several attempts to reach Perales' attorney for comment, but did not hear back after an initial conversation. As for the status of his case, both sides will submit their briefings to the arbitrator later this month. A decision is expected about 30 days after that.
Turning now to weather tonight. Absolutely gorgeous weekend as we warmed up a little bit, but as we head into Rodeo, everybody wants to know, is it going to rain? Is it going to be hot? Is it going to be cold? Because we always get a little bit of everything during Rodeo.
Mixed bag.
You never really know, right? Well, at least the first few days of Rodeo are looking really nice, and that is the good news. Let's take a look back at today, the almanac. We started off below freezing once again this morning at the airport, low temperature in the 20s, but we made it all the way up into the low 60s this afternoon. And you can expect more big temperature swings like that from morning to afternoon, essentially every day this week. So I think the major key to the forecast this week is to dress in layers, at least a couple of layers. You'll want a light jacket or a light sweater early in the day because our morning lows will be in the 30s for most of the week, eventually getting back into the 40s. And our afternoon highs will be in the 60s, eventually the 70s as we get toward the end of the week. And under bright sunshine most days, it is going to feel, I think, comfortable, but also maybe a little warm at times, especially toward the end of the week. So dressing in a couple layers this week, I think that is the key. Temperatures currently 34 in Kerrville, 38 in Fredericksburg. Meanwhile, 45 in San Antonio, 56 in Cotulla. So we've got a decent temperature spread across the area. And the reason why is because we've had a deck of some mid and high level clouds move in from the south this evening. So generally along and south of Highway 90, some mid and high level cloud cover has moved in. And there's some rain way to our south down near Brownsville. What we have going on here is a little piece of upper level energy, this little dip right here over Mexico. This is going to pass over deep south Texas late tonight through early tomorrow, bringing places like Brownsville a chance of rain. Unfortunately, that good rain-making energy is just going to be too far south to bring our area any rain, but we will continue to see some cloud cover stream in overnight through early tomorrow morning. Because of that increase in cloud cover, those of us along and south of Highway 90, generally speaking, are not going to get as cold overnight. Check out the spread in temperatures tomorrow morning. Up in the hill country, you all are not going to get as much of that cloud cover, so you'll be allowed to drop back below freezing overnight. So Kerrville, Fredericksburg, Rock Springs, even up toward Junction, I do expect another freeze for you. Everyone else that's along and south of 90, I expect us to stay above freezing. Now, it will be cold. We're going to go right around 36 here in San Antonio, 35 Uvalde, 38 Carrizo Springs. But with that additional cloud cover south of Highway 90, that's going to keep our temperatures from bottoming out as much as they could if our skies were completely clear. We'll also have a decent breeze settle in overnight. North winds about 10 to 15 miles per hour. So some additional clouds to start the day on Monday. Through the day, they'll kind of clear out down to the southeast and will be mostly sunny by tomorrow afternoon, holding on to a northerly breeze at 10 to 15 through the afternoon. So it could feel a little cool out there at times tomorrow, but our afternoon highs should be able to climb back to near 60 in most spots. So after some morning clouds, more sun tomorrow afternoon, and we just don't have any big movers or shakers moving into our part of the state this week, all the way through Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, Thursday, all the big storm systems stay off to our north, and that keeps things quiet for us here in south central Texas. But that does coincide with the first few days of the rodeo. So if you've got plans to head out to the rodeo on opening day on Thursday, things are looking nice. Our afternoon highs will be just shy of 70 Thursday afternoon, mostly clear, and then getting cool Thursday evening with temperatures falling into the 50s. Now, really the only thing we have to complain about this week is a lack of rainfall, because we really do need some rain. I'll give you an update on our drought situation coming up in the next half hour, guys.
So to answer Tim's question, the frigid temps got out of the way for the rodeo.
Yeah, but it's still February. All right, we'll check in with Greg Simmons again right after this. San Antonio has a new world champion in boxing, and he brought home the hardware tonight. With more of what's on Instant Replay, let's check in with our friend Greg Simmons again.
And we were there at the airport. We made his arrival home today. And as you heard at the top of our newscast tonight, we have lost a legend in broadcasting, Gary DeLong, who was part of our national history, passed away today. Tonight, we will pay tribute to the San Antonio Sports Hall of Famer. Coming up tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay. Jesse Bam Rodriguez is the latest San Antonio world champion in boxing. That's after he defeated Carlos Cuadras in a 12-round unanimous decision last night in Phoenix. And today, he arrived back home in San Antonio carrying his new belt. Tonight, you will hear from Rodriguez.
It's been a wild season. Obviously, this month has been crazy for our team. January, I think we had like 17 games or whatever it was. So it just feels good to have, in the NBA, if you can have a 2-day break, it's huge. If you can have a 4-day break, it's even better.
Our San Antonio Spurs getting a rare 4 days off before they tip off their rodeo road trip. So that means they have time to practice today before heading out on their 8-game rodeo road trip after scoring a big win over the Rockets before leaving home.
45-50 outside, 45-40, and out of bounds at about the 35-yard line.
How did you feel when you got the call from the Hall?
Stunned, because I don't deserve it. I really don't. I think I'm very humbled by it, and I don't really deserve it, but I've already called somebody about running a tux, so I guess I'd better take it.
And today we lost a legend in broadcasting. Gary DeLong passed away this morning after a near month-long battle with COVID and resulting complications. He was 88 years old, but what a career. We will honor Gary throughout tonight's broadcast. It included his over 6 decades of broadcasting high school football. All that plus will get you ready for Super Bowl 56 1 week from today. And how many games will the Spurs win on their 8-game rodeo road trip tonight? You decide. Instant replay is live and it's after the Nightbeat. What a career for Gary, and he was a father figure to me.
Yeah, my condolences to you and all who knew and loved him, Greg.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll have more on the Nightbeat right after this. Russian President Vladimir Putin amassing troops and military hardware near Ukraine's borders and could launch an attack on the country at, quote, any time. That's a warning from the White House tonight.
The U.S. already sending troops to Germany and Poland to reinforce NATO allies. No word, though, from President Biden whether he will commit more U.S. troops if the situation continues to escalate. Here's ABC's Mona Kosar-Abdi with the details.
As the first contingent of U.S. troops arrives in Poland to shore up NATO allies in Eastern Europe, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is warning of a possible Russian attack against Ukraine.
We believe that there is a very distinct possibility that Vladimir Putin will order an attack on Ukraine. It could take a number of different forms. It could happen as soon as tomorrow, or it could take some weeks yet.
ABC News has learned the U.S. now estimates that Russia has 70% of the forces in place that would be needed to invade Ukraine. From special operations troops to tanks and artillery to air and naval forces, new satellite images show Moscow's military buildup in neighboring Belarus.
If they choose to go down the path of escalation instead, it will come at enormous human cost to Ukrainians, but it will also, we believe, over time, come at real strategic cost to Vladimir Putin.
President Joe Biden spoke with French President Emmanuel Macron on Sunday ahead of Macron's meeting with Putin on Monday in Moscow, the two discussing ongoing diplomatic and deterrence efforts. The president deflecting when asked about sending more U.S. troops if Putin does not de-escalate the situation.
I'm not going to speculate on that.
Military aid continues to arrive in Ukraine's capital, Kiev, part of a $200 million package from the United States. But some Republicans are criticizing the administration for not doing enough.
I'm working with the Senate Foreign Relations Committee on a bill that we hope to get out this week that will stand up the deterrence where the administration has failed to provide not only the lethal aid to Ukraine, but also the sanctions necessary, devastating sanctions.
Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
18 people back safe on land after being trapped on a piece of ice that broke away on Lake Erie. The group had been snowmobiling near Catawba Island in Ohio when the ice sheet cracked. A Good Samaritan with an airboat managed to rescue 7 of them. The Coast Guard was able to save the 11 who remained stuck on the ice floe by using a helicopter and one of their airboats. The National Weather Service in Cleveland had been warning people to stay off the ice in Lake Erie because this was a possibility.
Jury selection begins Monday in the federal hate crimes trial for the 3 men who were convicted of the killing of Ahmaud Arbery. Government lawyers will try to prove the men chased down and shot the 25-year-old to death because he was black. Gregory and Travis McMichael withdrew their guilty pleas last week after the judge overseeing the case rejected the plea deals the men had reached with prosecutors over the Arbery family's objections. 2 of the men were sentenced to life in prison after their convictions in Georgia State Court last year.
Now to your coronavirus news. The CDC is reporting 212 million Americans are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. That amounts to 64% of Americans as of today. More than 89 million Americans have been boosted, which amounts to 27% of the total U.S. population. Only one state has less than half of their residents vaccinated now. That's Alabama. About 1 in 5 eligible Americans above the age of 5 have not received any dose of the COVID vaccine.
Team USA with its first 2 medals of the 2022 Winter Olympics. The Americans in second place behind the Russian Olympic Committee. The U.S. women's hockey team and the defending Olympic champions remain undefeated in the preliminary round after back-to-back shutouts. And snowboarder Julia Marino earning Team USA its first medal of the 2022 Winter Olympics, taking home the silver. In the women's snowboard slopestyle competition, the hopes of USA winning gold hang now on the upcoming free dance, pairs free skate, and the women's free skate.
Alrighty, another look outside the live cam tonight. Kind of hard to tell, but we're starting to see some high-thin clouds move in from the south, and that will keep temperatures in and around San Antonio from dropping below freezing tonight for the first night in several nights. 46 now. Looking across the country, 26 in Denver, 40s up in the Pacific Northwest, below freezing from Omaha to St. Louis, up to Cleveland. And you want to take a little trip with me? Let's go. Let's see what the temperature is in Beijing. 37. So it's not that, well, it's like 10 degrees difference temperature-wise, but I just thought it was cool checking with the weather over there. We've seen that the wind can have a big impact on some of those winter events in Beijing. They're looking at a high today. It's the 12 o'clock hour there now. They're looking at a high in the low to mid 40s tomorrow afternoon there, because it's already tomorrow. I'm confusing myself. We'll take another look at your full forecast coming up in just a little bit. Courtney.
Thank you, Katie. Well, a new episode of KSAT Explains is out Tuesday, and this week the Explains team partnered with meteorologists Justin Horn and Sarah Spivey for an episode all about the aquifer. Here's Myra Arthur with the preview.
If you're a regular KSAT 12 viewer, you've seen this before.
The aquifer's down today, 0.4 of a foot to 662.5. We need some rain.
The aquifer yesterday did not change.
I want to show you the aquifer level. It's actually up 0.1 of a foot over the past 24 hours, which is good, but still below the monthly average.
Our Weather Authority team reporting on the Edwards Aquifer water levels. The aquifer is the primary source of drinking water for millions of us around South Central Texas and the Hill Country. So you know it's important, but maybe you still have some questions. In this episode of KSAT Explains, we're diving into how the Edwards Aquifer works, why it's so heavily regulated, and we're learning about the conservation efforts in place that help keep the Edwards Aquifer and the creatures who call the aquifer home healthy.
KSAT Explains the Edwards Aquifer will be available to stream on demand this Tuesday. We'll live stream the episode at 7 p.m. on KSAT.com and KSAT's Facebook page. But if you can't watch it live, we'll post the full episode so you can watch on demand later Tuesday evening.
Still ahead on the Nightbeat, 2 new movies cracking the top 5 of the weekend box office. The big question, though, did they beat Spider-Man?
Today marks 70 years that Queen Elizabeth has served the UK. We break down what makes today so special and somber.
It's official. Queen Elizabeth continues to be the longest reigning monarch in British history.
And after hitting 70 years as of today, she keeps her spot as the longest reigning woman monarch in world history.
Here's ABC's Lama Hassan with what this historical milestone means.
Queen Elizabeth marking 70 years on the throne this morning with a poignant and personal request, issuing a statement saying, "It is my sincere wish that Camilla will be known as Queen Consort as she continues her own loyal service."
It's a hugely significant intervention to support Camilla to be known as Queen Consort when the Prince of Wales becomes king. Now, royal aides insisted when Charles married Camilla back in 2005 that she intended to be Princess Consort. That was a deference to Princess Diana and her popularity. This marks a significant shift in policy.
Her Majesty also looking to the future of the monarchy, writing, "And when, in the fullness of time, my son Charles becomes king, I know you will give him and his wife Camilla the same support that you have given me."
So the Queen signed her statement, "Your servant." And that really personifies the Queen's reign. It's been all about duty, all about serving. We all knew that Charles wanted Camilla to become Queen Consort, and now we have the Queen's wishes.
Queen Elizabeth making history this February 6th as the only British monarch to reign for 7 decades. 70 years of service, of overseas trips, receptions, bouquets and accolades. A lifetime for the crown. Elizabeth began marking the milestone with her first public appearance in months, cutting a cake at an event in the ballroom at Sandringham on Saturday.
I thought it had to be upside down for the press. As they can see. I don't matter. Somebody else can finish it off, do the rest of it.
The first major engagement since her hospital visit last October and being told to rest by her doctors. Today, the actual day she became queen, is usually one of mixed emotions for Her Majesty. It was also the day her father, George VI, died. And this year she will also be remembering her late husband who died last April.
The Queen is currently setting the scene for the post-Elizabethan age, and she is trying to set the stage for Charles and Camilla and for their service for years to come.
Lama Hassan, ABC News.
Goodbye, Ox, and welcome to the Year of the Tiger. Today, members of the Asian community and other locals got together at Rolling Oaks Mall to celebrate the new lunar year. The new year typically begins with the first new moon, which is between the end of January and spans the first 15 days of the first month of the lunar calendar. Organizers say the event was a great way to bring the different East and Southeast Asian cultures together.
Many Asian cultures celebrate the Lunar New Year differently. Some of them, like the Koreans, do a 3-day celebration. The Chinese do the big celebration, clean out the house, start all new. Everybody celebrates different. But here, we all came together. They're all the San Antonio Asian communities just coming together to celebrate.
This was the first year for the event, and organizers plan to do it all again next year.
The Year of the Tiger, rawr. Rawr. I was born in the Year of the Tiger, so maybe this will be a good year. Yeah.
Good for you.
Back
This
there
is
in
your
1974. So
Oh, cool.
we'll see what happens this time.
It's
What's
gonna
going
be
on
a
with the
good-
weather?
It's going to be a good year. We got some good weather.
Yes, very nice weather coming up this week. You know, last week was so jam-packed with some rain on Monday, and then, of course, the winter weather that came in Wednesday night. Thankfully, this week is going to be a lot more quiet. Nothing you have to stress about, and that is some good news. Let's take a look at your Monday. Notice the morning low, 36, so I'm not forecasting a freeze overnight for San Antonio and Bexar County. Parts of the hill country, I expect to freeze there overnight. And we'll talk about why the freeze tonight is not going to be as widespread as it's been the past few nights. By tomorrow afternoon, we're back near 60 degrees. North winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, so a little bit breezy on your Monday, but nothing we can't handle. With no rain in the forecast tomorrow or for the next 7 days, this is a great week to visit the car wash if that's something you have on your to-do list. No rain chances through the end of this coming week, the next 3 days, or through the end of this coming week. Now, it's nice for the car wash side of things. Not so nice in terms of our rainfall deficit and also our drought situation. So over the next 7 days, a bleak picture in terms of rainfall, especially when you compare it to the latest drought monitor. This was updated on Thursday. We've got widespread severe drought, that orange color there, really west of I-35, and then a pocket there of extreme drought down to the southwest, Dimmitt, LaSalle, McMullen counties. You guys have extreme drought going on now, and we're behind on rainfall. Winter, first part of winter, especially late last year, was very dry. So we're way behind on rainfall, and unfortunately no rain in the forecast this week. It looks like 10 to 14 days from now, that's when we could see our weather pattern change to one that favors chances of rain returning to the forecast. But really the next 7 to 10 days right now is looking pretty dry, unfortunately. So we want to enjoy the pleasant weather this week, but also have to provide some perspective that rain is lacking, and we really need some. 45 now at the airport. Notice our sensor there is reading partly cloudy skies. It was clear earlier in the day, so it's picking up on some high clouds that have moved in from the south, but it's difficult to see those at nighttime on live cam. But they've moved in, and what's cool here is that you can kind of see where the clouds have moved in just by looking at temperatures. So cloud cover keeps temperatures from falling as quickly. Notice in the hill country, we're already in the mid-30s from Kerrville up to Fredericksburg. Meanwhile, 50 Carrizo Springs and 56 in Cotulla. So the clouds have started to fill into the south of Highway 90, and it's the difference in cloud cover overnight that will result in not as many of us seeing a freeze through the overnight hours. So here's 1 a.m. all the way through dawn tomorrow morning. We've got more cloud cover along and south of Highway 90, so that will keep the bulk of our area out of a freeze overnight. It will still be on the cold side. We're still going to go mid to upper 30s, 36 Gonzales, your morning low, 35 New Braunfels, but that cloud cover won't allow our temperatures to bottom out as much as they would if skies were clear. Also keeping our temperatures from dropping quite as much, the breeze that will settle in overnight out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, hill country friends, I still do expect a freeze for you by a few degrees, so keep that in mind. Any cloud cover lingering in the morning will clear out into the afternoon. Will be mostly sunny by tomorrow afternoon, and that'll put our afternoon highs for a lot of us back in the low 60s, low 50s possible for the hill country. North wind staying breezy throughout the day tomorrow, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. Now, I expect another light freeze tomorrow night into Tuesday. Keep that in mind. Otherwise, our morning lows jump into the upper 30s by the end of the week. We are looking good for the start of the rodeo on Thursday, guys.
Let's rodeo, San Antonio.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Katie.
Giddy up. We'll be right back.
$4.2 million gave Sing 2 fifth place and a domestic total of $140 million. Scream fell to fourth place on ticket sales of $4.7 million. Spider-Man No Way Home dropped to third, but made another $9.6 million for a domestic total of $749 million. Moonfall launched in second place with $10 million, a figure dwarfed by the disaster flick's reported $138 million budget. Every Jackass movie has opened at #1, and Jackass Forever continued the streak, topping the chart with $23.5 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Seems fitting that was #1. Our San Antonio Spurs head out on their 8-game rodeo road trip starting on Wednesday.
And we'll get you ready for their first set of opponents with the segment we like to call Know Your Foe. With more on what's on Instant Replay, let's head over to Greg Simmons.
Right now they're getting a little breather, 4 days off before they have to start. That's a lifetime in the NBA. And Super Bowl 56 is right around the corner between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams. We'll get you ready tonight on a brand new edition of Instant Replay. What are the Spurs facing when they head out on their annual rodeo road trip this year? 8 games with 5 before the All-Star break and just 3 afterwards. What are they up against? We will show you in our Know Your Foe segment. Find out what high school basketball teams are bringing you live on the BGC app, courtesy of Texas Sports Productions this week.
Trayvon Diggs came up with an interception there and wound up back with it after a few laterals.
There you go. Viva Las Vegas. It's the 2022 Pro Bowl in Las Vegas today. How did the Dallas Cowboys do, including their first-timers Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs? We will show you. Super Bowl 56 is 1 week from tonight between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles. Larry Ramirez will get you ready for kickoff. All that plus a brand new scholar athlete and our tribute to the legendary broadcaster Gary DeLong, who passed away this morning. Instant Replay is live, and it is next.
We'll see you in just a bit, Greg.
You got it.
We'll be right back.
Finally tonight, something good.
Until this weekend, Golden, Colorado was most famous for having the largest brewery in the world, but there's more that's golden than the city's famous Coors beer. The city marked International Golden Retriever Day today by inviting 1,500 canines to celebrate. Well, this was the town's first Golden Retriever Day celebration. Organizers say it won't be the last.
There was a lot of hair left on any pair of black pants there. That's all of our time for now. For all of us here at KSAT 12, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to tune in to Good Morning San Antonio for all your latest overnight news.
And all new Instant Replay starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a brand new edition of Instant Replay. Just 1 week before Super Bowl 56 will get you ready for the big game tonight, along with the Spurs tipping off their 8-game Rodeo road trip on Wednesday. With the first 5 games before the All-Star break, San Antonio has a new world champion in boxing, and his name is Jesse Bam Rodriguez, and he's a younger brother of another world champ in the ring. All that plus, we celebrate the colorful life and career of the legendary broadcaster Gary DeLong, who passed away early this morning. But first, San Antonio's Jesse Bam Rodriguez was preparing for a different opponent and a different belt 1 week ago. Then he gets the call to move up to the main event because one of the fighters became ill with a non-COVID illness. So, new opponent, a bigger belt, and Rodriguez would make the most of his chance in Phoenix, Arizona, live on DeLong. The undefeated Rodriguez faced veteran fighter Carlos Cuadras in a 12-round bout for the WBC World Super Flyweight title, and Bam Rodriguez came out swinging. He had to move up in weight to take this fight on a week's notice, but he was in total control from the start. His biggest punch came in the 3rd round when he landed an uppercut on Cuadras as he turned his body and sent Cuadras to the canvas. From there, Rodriguez continued a brutal attack to the head and would win by unanimous decision 117 to 110, 117 to 110, and 115 to 112 to become San Antonio's newest world champion boxer. Rodriguez and company flew back to San Antonio this afternoon, arrived at 1:30 p.m. with his new championship belt, winning it in his first ever pro title fight.
Show me the belt. Describe it to me when they gave it to you. How did that feel?
And you know, it was my first time touching one. It was so amazing, man. I've always looked at these belts and wanted one myself, and you know, I finally have it. It still hasn't hit me, you know. It still feels like a dream, honestly. Not only that, but it's crazy, man. It's so surreal. It's everything, you know, everything I've dreamed of since starting boxing. I've always dreamed of capturing my first world title, and to finally, you know, live in the moment, it feels amazing. It was 12 rounds full of war, battle. I dropped him in the 3rd, and then in the 5th is when I really felt like I started taking over and just, you know, fighting my fight, started boxing him the way I was supposed to. But, you know, I came out with the victory, and, you know, I'm very happy.
That is pretty cool. Now, with the win, Rodriguez becomes the youngest current boxing champ at 22 years old. What a way to celebrate a birthday. He just turned 22 in January. Congrats to San Antonio's newest world championship boxer. Out in Las Vegas, Mario Barrios fought in his 2nd straight pay-per-view fight and made his debut at welterweight. Barrios faced Keith Thurman, who hadn't fought in 2 years, but it looked like he hadn't been gone long at all. Thurman was cautious in his attack and kept Barrios at bay. Thurman landed more punches, even caused 2 cuts above Mario's left eye. Despite all the blood, Barrios never looked like he was going to be knocked out or be knocked down. In the end, Thurman won by unanimous decision, 118-110, 118-110, and 117-111.
He was saying he's going to knock me out and all this stuff, and I couldn't hurt him. But I mean, I think we all saw, you know, I belong up here with, you know, the great fighters. And I mean, overall, me and my team, I mean, we're happy with the outcome. Man, shout out to everybody who showed up. I appreciate y'all's support. And much love, man.
Barrios is 26-2 now, but plans to stay at welterweight. You can read more about this fight and Bam's title win on the Instant Replay page at KSAT.com. On Friday, around midnight, the Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, sent out a tweet saying, "My birthday gift, the return of Ryan Garcia on April the 9th from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas." There has been no official word from the Dome, and the fight does not appear on the Alamo Dome website. There hasn't been any announcement from promoters, but even Ryan Garcia himself sent out this tweet on Saturday. This would be the first big fight in San Antonio this year, and it brings one of the most popular young boxers in the game right now. Here we go. Our San Antonio Spurs head out on their annual Rodeo road trip this Wednesday, where they will play their first 5 games before the All-Star break. The Spurs are coming off a rout of the Rockets again, 131-106 in the last home game before leaving San Antonio until the end of February. Kelton Johnson led the Spurs to 28 points, while Zach Collins played in his first NBA game since 2020 after 2 foot surgeries and scored 10 points. As a result of the victory, Spurs head coach Greg Popovich only needs 6 more wins to become the all-time winningest coach in NBA history during the regular season. And what makes it even more remarkable, he became the first to accomplish that with only 1 team, but also became the first coach to reach the milestone of 1,500 wins, including playoff victories. Today, the Spurs were able to hold a practice before leaving town on Tuesday, and they're grateful for the much-needed break.
It feels great, you know. It's been a wild season. Obviously, this month has been crazy for our team. January, I think we had like 17 games or whatever it was, so it just feels good to have. In the NBA, if you can have a 2-day break, it's huge. If you can have a 4-day break, it's even better. especially with All-Star break coming up, we know we have another one coming, so we can finish out these last 5 games, with a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, and just playing as hard as we can.
And DeJounte Murray says he is not upset he wasn't named to the Western All-Star Conference reserves, even though he's having a career year with 10 of his 14 franchise-tying triple-doubles coming this season. He can still be named as an injury replacement by NBA Commissioner Adam Silver. All Spurs fans know that the Rodeo road trip is where the team really comes together and makes their push for the rest of the season and the playoffs. And the Silver and Black are going to make the top 10 teams in the West. They need to solve some of their issues during this 8-game Rodeo road trip. The Spurs' first matchup will be in Cleveland to take on the Cavs, who are just 1.5 games away from being the top seed in the Eastern Conference. The Cavs are holding teams to 102.1 points per game. That's the league best. The Spurs average 111.5 points per game. One of the players the Spurs need to watch out for is center Jarrett Allen, who's second in the league in field goal percentage at 66.7%. They also have to watch rookie Evan Mobley, who's averaging 34.3 minutes per game and is third among rookies with 15 points per game, and he has 11 double-doubles. Cleveland has 8 players averaging double figures in points, all led by this man, point guard Darius Garland. Let's take a look at the numbers right now as we get ready for this game coming up on Wednesday. You see he has a team best 19.8 points per game, 46.7 field goal percentage, 3.1 rebounds per game, 8.2 assists per game. That's also a team best, along with 1.2 steals. A must-win early in this Rodeo road trip with the Spurs taking on the Pelicans. New Orleans is 1.5 games ahead of the Spurs, who are now in 10th place after their win tonight over Houston. Portland is now in 11th place, 1 game ahead of the Spurs. San Antonio defeated New Orleans back in December, 112-97, where Jakob Poeltl scored 24 points and 12 rebounds. After their upcoming Rodeo road trip match, they will face off against each other twice more in March. So here's a look at the Spurs schedule this week. They'll be on the plane on Tuesday to Cleveland. They play the Cavaliers on Wednesday. Then they're at Atlanta on Friday, and the first game of back-to-backs when they take on the Pelicans in New Orleans Saturday at 6 p.m. Time now for tonight's instant replay poll question. How many games will the Spurs win on their 8-game Rodeo road trip? Will it be A, 6 or more games, B, 5 games, C, 4 games, D, 3 games or less? Vote now. We'll have the results at the end of the broadcast tonight. The biggest game of the year is 1 week away. Larry Ramirez has your Super Bowl preview, but first, it's the Pro Bowl.
From the 25, Cousins batted up in the air and going the other way.
The NFL's biggest stars are in Las Vegas this weekend. Who wins the Pro Bowl? We'll have your highlights. District play is winding down in high school basketball. We'll tell you who is pulling away with the playoffs approaching. Does Kellen Moore have a shot at any other head coaching vacancy now that the Miami Dolphins have hired Josh McDaniel? Could the Texans hire Brian Flores after he decided to sue the NFL? The sports guys decide. But before that, we go to break. As part of tonight's broadcast, we will pay tribute to the legendary newsman and sportscaster Gary DeLong. DeLong is very much entrenched in our nation's history while working as a radio newsman in Dallas, becoming the first to confirm that President John F. Kennedy had been shot on November 22, 1963. Gary is also in the basement of the Dallas Police Department, reporting live when Jack Ruby shot Lee Harvey Oswald, and remained friends with Jim Lavelle, who was escorting Oswald that day until his death in 2019. Gary's Jack Ruby's 11th Hour won the Associated Press Best Radio Documentary in 1967.